Welcome back to our series. We have made it to the final stretch, the third trimester. At this point, you are probably feeling very, very pregnant, and you might be feeling very, very uncomfortable, tired, and just ready to meet your baby already.
And this is often when people revert back to that old bad advice to just put your feet up and rest, you know. But the third trimester isn't the time to stop moving. And we want to thank everyone who's been following along. And if this is your first video with us, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the finale. In fact, this is the most critical time to train. You're preparing for one of the most physically demanding events of your entire life, labor.
I feel like it's something that people underestimate, like she's gonna give birth. So today we are giving you the trainer's game plan for the third trimester. We are going to talk about how exactly to exercise to prepare your body for labor and why your core and pelvic floor muscles are even more important than ever. And also how to fuel your body for that final push.
So, this is your final prep phase before the baby comes, before everything is no longer the same. So, let's get you ready for the main event.
Absolutely. So, if we think of labor, we should think of it as a personal marathon. You wouldn't show up to your marathon without training, right? We wouldn't dare to do that because we're setting ourselves up for failure. And you shouldn't go
Yeah.
into the labor room without it either. So, the stamina and the strength that you build now can make a massive difference in that room. In fact, there are so many
Yeah.
studies that have shown that consistent exercise can result in an easier labor with less need for medical intervention, which is a dream.
For sure. So, what does training for labor look like? It has two key parts. The first is endurance, continuing your 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week, like walking, swimming, is crucial, very, very important for building the stamina that you will need for the hours ahead.
And the second thing is functional movement. Do not underestimate this one. We want to focus on exercises that mimic the demand of labor because this is important. You're not going to be swimming in preparation for your running race. Like it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. So, deep squats, for example, are perfect because it's that pushing, if you think about it. And it's also amazing to help you open your pelvis and also
Yeah.
pelvic mobility exercises like cat to cow or gentle hip circles can also relieve pressure and get the baby in optimal position for birth.
Yeah. Oh, I love me some hip circles. I still do them. I'll sit on a, I'll sit on a gym ball and I'll just do some hip circles. They're the best. So, this isn't about high intensity. It's about smart, purposeful movement that prepares your body for the job that it's about to do.
Absolutely. And we've been talking about the core and pelvic floor throughout this entire series. And here in the third trimester, their role is twofold: support and release. So, first, your deep core is working overtime to support your weight and your belly to prevent.
The coning or the doming of your stomach that we mentioned in part 1 is even more important to watch for now. Any exercise that creates that shape in your abdomen should be completely avoided. Continue with your foundational exercises like your diaphragmatic breathing, bird dog, and now wall planks, which are a great modification.
But now there's also a new focus, and this is to learn when to relax your pelvic floor. So, for labor, your pelvic floor muscles need to be able to open up. So, the trainer's secret that we are going to give you is to connect your breath to your release, which we mentioned in the previous episode as well. As you inhale, feel the pelvic floor gently lowering and relax. And this is just as important as strengthening it as well.
Yeah, for sure. And this mind muscle connection is a skill. So, practicing it as soon as you can in your pregnancy is the best thing that you can do. Practicing this now will give you a powerful tool to use during labor. And guys, breathing during labor, it's so important. It's so important that you continue to work with your breath. Push when you feeling strong is what my midwife was saying. So basically, she was teaching me how to breathe. And then once I've gathered enough oxygen or power from breathing, you know how it is in between sets. You're like, I finished this set now. Okay, I'm going to start my second set, but I just need to prop myself up again. Breathe, place your feet where it needs to be, then hit that second set. And that is the same mindset for when you are trying to push this baby out of the canal. So breathing is so important.
Yeah, yeah. And in the third trimester, your baby's brain and other organs are at its final stage of development, and your energy needs are at their peak. So now is when you need those extra calories the most.
Yeah, and research shows you need 450 extra calories per day in the third trimester. Again, what does that actually look like? It might be a small bowl of oatmeal with fruits and nuts, or a slice of grain toast with avocado and an egg, maybe some cottage cheese.
Yeah, you're making me hungry. Quality is still the key here because these calories should come from protein for your baby's growth, complex carbs for their sustained energy, and healthy fats, which are critical for your baby's brain development. So think of this as the final nutrient packed deposit that you are making to your baby's health and your own energy stores for labor.
And we've talked about not lying on your back during exercise, but as you get deeper into the third trimester, this becomes more and more critical for the rest as well. Here's a very important fact, right? So, research now shows that the position you go to sleep in actually matters.
Especially after 28 weeks into your pregnancy, going to sleep on your back has been identified as an actual risk factor for stillbirth. Isn't that scary? And this is
Yeah.
because the weight of the uterus can be compressed, and those same major blood vessels for a prolonged period of time while you were sleeping, reducing that blood flow and oxygen to your baby. And we all know that when we are sleeping, we are concussed. Like we half the time don't know what is going on. So, yeah, so something to be very, very mindful of.
Yeah, I couldn't even actually lie on my back anymore. It just was no longer comfy to lie on my back because I was huge, guys. I was huge. I was 99 kgs when I went into the hospital. I will insert a picture of myself. I was just blown up. I look like a puff adder. You know those puffer fish?
It's so crazy to me. Like,
Oh,
even though Zoe and I are sharing blanket statements that is accurate for 99% of people. Actually, these are science backed, so they are accurate for all people. But your body is still going to go through its own changes. Your hormone levels
yeah.
are still going to be at their own unique levels. Like, you cannot even in this time compare your journey to somebody else's. And I think a lot of people get stuck in that. Where they feel like, oh my gosh, but look at her, she carried her baby so small, and da 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 da. Like,
Yeah.
so unique in our own.
Yes, you are so right. I think all of those comparisons come from fear because you are in this position as a first time mom. I'm talking about first time mom, right? You don't know what's happening with your body, but you can feel your body's changing, right? And then everyone's telling you everything about pregnancy and all the information you've read and all the things you've heard, all of that plays a role in your psyche at this moment in time. So now you're trying to latch on to what you perceive to be normal, right?
Yeah.
So that it starts to feel a bit less scary for you on the inside. Maybe you like me and you overconsume YouTube videos of other women that were pregnant just to listen to their stories of their birth, or all your friends that are telling you, and you just trying to normalize this whole thing, because no one really speaks about the psychological change that the mother goes
Yeah.
through during this time, because your body is changing without you doing anything, right? Your rib cage is expanding, your entire upper half of your body is getting wide. You're starting to look like Frankenstein. Your hips are getting wider and wider. When you're walking, it feels like you're walking like this, you know? Everything is starting to be uncomfortable. This is not your body, but it is your
Yeah.
body. It's all of these mental things that are also going on. And now you're seeing someone that has a smaller tummy and they're at the same amount of months as you. And you're like, no, and you can't believe, like, oh my God, I'm so huge. My feet are swollen. Why couldn't I have an easy pregnancy like that person and
Yeah.
whatever? And it's, like you said, so important to remember that your journey is just going to be
So
your
different.
journey, and it's
Yeah.
pointless trying to compare yourself to anybody,
Yeah.
because all the videos that I watched, my birth was nothing like, or the girls on YouTube that I was watching talking about their births in Germany, because that was my biggest fear actually, was like giving birth in Germany, not knowing what the health system looks like on the background and being a foreigner. So yeah.
Yeah. I think it is something very difficult and it is a very sensitive topic as well because pregnant or not pregnant, you compare yourself to the next person. Like it's just
Yeah.
something that you do naturally. And so if we are constantly sharing this message to people that your life is not the same as the next person's life, your pregnancy is not the same as the next person's pregnancy, your
Yeah.
child is not the same as the next person's child. Everything in this experience is unique and it's tailored basically to you.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
it takes a lot. And honestly, I take my hat off to every single female out there who has ever had a baby
Yeah.
and gone through pregnancy and had this
Agreed.
terrible, not even terrible, but just difficult experience because I can only
Yeah.
imagine like it takes a lot. So well done to all the moms out there, honestly. Proud of you.
For sure. And now I just want to mention something, and that is that the advice from experts is simple. When you go to sleep for the night or for a nap, settle to sleep on your side. Either the left side or the right side is fine, though the left side may offer slightly better circulation and it's a bit more comfy. If you wake up on your back, don't panic. It's also not a big deal. Just gently roll back onto your side. This is one of the most empowering, simple things that you can do to keep your baby safe in these final weeks.
And also, just with saying that, like how simple this advice is, I think people complicate things unnecessarily. Like you anticipate the, oh my word, Zoe and Donaé said now I can't lay on my back. Now I've been laying on my back for 2 minutes. Oh my gosh, frenzy. Like, no, you are just aware of this because of the possibility. We are not saying that we forbid you from laying on your back or
Yeah.
don't lay on your right side or don't do this and don't do that. Explore, do it, feel it for yourself if you want to experience, if you want to find out why, which we don't recommend. But you know what I mean? Like, just if that's what you want to do, then do that so that you can decide for yourself as well. But these things are simple. All you need to do is just pay attention and listen to the people that,
Yeah.
the actual people that are giving you advice that you seek and not the unsolicited advice from the lady in the grocery shop because she's like, oh my word, you're pregnant. I
Yeah.
remember when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Stop it, Susie.
Yeah.
And so let's just summarize the third trimester game plan because this is what we need. We need a game plan. So, first trimester, you train for labor like it's an athletic event. You train with endurance and with functional movements like squats and lunges, all of these types of things.
And second, continue your deep core work, but start to add a focus on learning to relax your pelvic floor and to just relax and breathe. And third is to fuel your body with about 450 extra nutrient dense calories a day.
Mm-hmm. And remember that safety is crucial, and the number one rule is to always go to sleep on your side after 28 weeks. So you are in the home stretch, and every smart choice that you make is setting you up for a better birth, but also for a better recovery.
And in our final video of this series, we're going to talk about the reward for all your hard work, the incredible benefits for your baby, and how all of this training pays off in your postpartum recovery. You won't want to miss the grand finale, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. And please click that notification bell because at the moment we are uploading once a week, but it could either be on a Thursday or on a Friday. So to make sure that you get the notifications, click the bell. Life is a bit crazy for us at the moment, so being able to stick to one day, it's getting wild. It's getting wild out here. Yeah. So we do upload weekly, but just to make sure that you are not missing out on the episodes, click that notification bell.
And also to all our listeners, thank you so much for following along Zoe and I's journey. And we are so happy that we are able to help all of you in so many ways, may it be big or small. We really appreciate all of your continued support. And we can't believe that we are heading into December. Another year. Amazing. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. We will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.